welcome to our lovely future humans, our 5D collective, to those who are seeing this lovely cosmic heart, to those who are hearing, wait for it. I need to show to the viewers, here's cosmic heart, here's our commitment, and that is to the sacred union of what? No, not that one. Wait for it. That lovely body, our empowered divine feminine, and that lovely mind, our empowered divine masculine. That means scientifically restored, embodied, self-aware, accountable, regulating people. So purpose-driven professionals, as well as personal growth and spiritual growth individuals. We choose that which is a window of welcome, empowerment, and enlightenment, as we talked about those 3 ways that I don't suffer and that you will also understand. From nothing to everything, we are always nothingness to some people, but we are always everything to ourselves and our loved ones. The impossible made possible. You are unique and one of a kind, and we're going to talk about a man, woman, and day of grace in a minute. The human gift does not have to be suffering, and that is why the 5D collective, with our lovely Christ Consciousness Collective, Oneness Consciousness, it's called Integrated Brains with Restorative, Embodied, Self-Aware, Accountable, Regulating Lives. You will know about how God to me is Timber from the book The Ways to God. I'm a co-author of it. He's discerning, equanimous, loving. And also, you don't have to believe in my mystic or spiritual stuff. However, that is where I come from. And so with that, lovely Dr. Dana Siegel informs me of how the solo self, the body identity, the inner self, our thoughts and feelings, the relational self, our identity structured with others, so our immediate alloparenting, and the inter-self are interconnected, the me. And as I like to let you in on, fun fact, no one fucks with me because I get to be myself the smart way. Stable, mature, adaptive, rational, teachable. And I not only take the high road, I choose the high bar. And so that which are those core wounds, the framework that's coming about, I'm preparing it for the ventral pivot. We're going to add, in addition to working with yourself when you're activated, there can be those core wounds that can come about, right? And so you are easily able to self-regulate. And that's why you're doing personal growth and spiritual growth. And that's why you're a purpose-driven professional who understands whether you're in companies, your own company. It means that what you do because you care about others, and because when it's one-to-one or in a collective, workshops, all that, you're self-regulating and you're choosing the abundance energy mode due to us all being somatic empaths. And so you do understand it's not about counter-transference. It's about differentiation and linkage. That's the regulated leaders' habitual pattern. And so this is autonomously self-regulating. That's what personal growth and spiritual growth brings. Those who are spiritual bypassers and somatic bypassers, one and the same, you don't make them choose to get out of the suffering or to get out of the unsteady self-image, because that is where they are not taking seriously the ones who are all informing them of all of this. And so I personally don't suffer life, if you didn't tune in to yesterday, because I'm not lucky, but I am lucky to me. I am the nervous system sovereign, and as I chose through that which are a series of amazing events, and the first of which is, well, there's so many, so I'm going to leave it alone. You can tune in to some of my stories, okay? But you are here to live, grow, and enlighten. Don't just act like it, embody it. And so man, woman, day of grace will exhibit and embody everything from a funny right to a talkative, funny left. And there's that book from Ransom Stevens, read it. The left brain speaks, the right brain laughs, and there's your expert yogis and sages, and you name it. And we're having a good time. And those who don't understand it yet, it's okay. But elegance, dignity, courteous, goodwill, courteous, and that's in their actions. So anyone who's embodying that which is grace, spiritual, or for sciences, they'll just talk about it as your higher self, the restored, embodied, self-aware, accountable, regulating life. You spot the modulated stuff and you're like, yeah, sometimes we all can get triggered and activated, but that's why we're living. I'm alive, and we're growing. So we also embody compassion. We also embody kindness. Now, some would say unmerited. And I want to say words are important, because if you use that you have unmerited kindness, means that you're deciding that someone doesn't deserve it. Now, while some think that the self-righteous stuff is a good thing to have, yes, there's a healthy kind. But reminding your ego and yourself to be humble is very important because you are a creature of habit. And because if you don't remind your left to work with the right, then you, like I, still have a little bit of a judgmental asshole going on, because that's our teenage version, I like to call it. Okay, so split thinking, never, forever, good and bad in the way of a teenager attitude. So if you allow yourself to think, I am giving, and use the word unmerited kindness, you're telling your heart they don't deserve it. That makes you judgmental. And so that's why the words are important. I would get rid of the unmerited thing and just say that a person who embodies grace embodies the state of compassion because you're self-regulating. You embody kindness because you have relational integrity, and in fact it won't be per se kindness, it will be a firm ventral vagal stance and the capacity to maintain a timber due to your self-regulation skills. Reacting to others with forgiveness, humility, and emotional intelligence rather than harsh judgment. Reacting. That means it's your first nature, which is where the ventral vagal state comes in to the mix. And so a regulated leader owns their sovereign blueprint, which is why they are empowered and enlightening, and they have the capacity to put a hand on the heart, with or without their upbringing being, I have good Christian Catholic upbringing. Yes, but I am rejected by those who think Reiki and cards are bad, and that Akashic record readers are bad. And so we allow ourselves to remember what the future is. The future is always good because the keys get passed down by those who do know how to bring to reality that which is the legacy of what all of us are made of. It's a tidy home. So the ones who have had their unfortunate humanity, their faith in humanity was broken, we didn't lose our faith. And we don't think of life as suffering because we understand that it's a choice at a certain point. Obviously, this is the part, I don't know your window tolerance. I don't know your journey. So the impossible made possible is thanks to the scientists to explain it. From nothing to everything, the people who embody themselves, and we don't collapse or submit under pressure, and we don't need to suffer to actually become ourselves. Love is easy. Twin flames, that is the least of your concerns when you're a person who's a mystic and spiritual one and who's committed to that which is. Thank you, God, for allowing all of us angels to be here. And the scientists, they don't have to believe in us. We're okay with that one. But I know Thomas Campbell, he proved that love wins. So there you go. Scientists are on board. But he thinks it's virtual reality. I beg to differ, but that's just me. So let's explore the concept further. Several core traits to that which defines a person of grace. Compassion and forgiveness. Instead of holding grudges or keeping score, a person of grace offers that lovely kindness that we were talking about, and is not necessarily quick to understand and forgive others, but will easily be able to understand. We have subjective reality, we have socially defined reality, which are embodied by groups of people we have to respect. Knock, knock, who's there? So listen, you who stay far, far, far away from all of us and who think we're devils and demons, like even more than the other ones who still think we're devils and demons. The sun is about to do the thing that the scientists know all about, I don't. Would you mind if we take the children you are bearing and saying you love off the planet with us? Because, it'll be a really physically bad, not really great death at all. Like, we really don't want you to have. We have enough. Some people think that we're going to be stingy and we won't, but no. So the ones who think those shitty-ass movies, yeah, they're really exaggerating. It's not amazing at all. In the meantime, let's move on to dignity and composure. A person of grace maintains a sophisticated, refined, and calm demeanor, even under pressure, choosing to be a peacemaker rather than engaging in slander or gossip. Also, might I add, I have a personal experience when you see people throwing people in the mud, and you're a 4'9" woman, and you recognize that it's really distasteful. Let me use a story. Ice Age, you've seen it? Diego's family. The assholes. Okay, so you see how their little group always makes fun of each other. So now imagine it being in real life. Then imagine yourself being able to understand, I do, with Peter Levine, Dr. Daniel Siegel, Dr. Daniel Fox, Janina Fisher, Bethany Brand, Ruth Lanius, Pat Ogden, how many more names? Stephen Porges, everyone besides Jesus already talking to me, and God, and Buddha. High five, Buddha. He was making fun of me for some time. High five, archangels. Come on over, and future galactic beings. Don't worry, I'll channel you at some point. So, with all that being said, as I was saying, imagine you are witnessing something that's purely disgusting. Because, see, when you're discerning, equanimous, loving human being, and you know what the right thing is for a commitment of a herd, a community, yeah, and then you know about attachment trauma education, it is not to, yes, so like yucky Netflix documentaries who still show you people holding people down, the whole demonic possession thing. Look into Patrick McNamara, neuroscientist, his religious, the dysregulated, no, wait for it, I'm mixing up my words. The something self, I just forgot it, my mind went blank, and religious experience, decentralizing. There it is. Decentralizing and the self and religious experiences. And when someone looks at you weird because you've informed them that God, his perfection exists and that it's just they need healing, do you know why? Because apparently they don't think that the body is healing itself. The inconsistency is this, is when someone says God's perfect and his creations are perfect, and then they want to continue with a good team and a bad team, but the perfection is in everyone. It's just that if they don't embody their whole self. Okay, I'm going to stop with that one. But the point is, people who understand how God works in mysterious ways, it's pretty obvious. Stay down, humble, and don't play him. In the meantime, the future cosmic karmic balancing, the fun of being, I bring it all in, is that I saw it take place. And so it's not in competition. All the stories exist for the integrated brains because we don't look at words as A, B, C, D not being able to touch each other. That's the left. The left really, for some odd reason, doesn't like that they all come together. I don't know why, because I've never only been a lefty. I'm a lefty and a righty. Put your left foot in and your right foot in. Shake it all about. So I don't understand it. But that's why others, when they hear the explanation, they're like, oh, that actually. So you choose to let the two work together. Okay, that's because you notice your activated states, of course. Dignity and composure. Oh, and what I was trying to get to is when you see people treating each other like shit, you don't think, wow, I'm amazed. And when you stand up for people the way that you can, and they say, but we love them. And you say, no, I know you love them, and I am not afraid of them. They pretty cool, nice. And you allow yourself to simply hold the fort and you leave it alone, because then you just feel sad that there's so much ignorance. And dignity, composure, though, you maintain that, and for others. So under pressure, you choose to be a peacemaker. You choose the right silence. The Buddhist psychologists talk about it. You also choose to understand what subjective reality is and how followers distort, project, with their charges, justify their actions. Like when these people were like, we love them, and I'm like, you basically throwing them in the mud, but I understand you're trying to warn me, and I thank you for your concern. There's nothing to be warned of, and I would say stop talking about people like monsters. They're not monsters. So it's really sad. Yeah, humility, focusing on serving and building up others, which is also what, as our lovely Sadhguru points out, leaders don't have to be on the top. They actually empower people to do what they will have never thought they could have done before. And that's why a true Hierophant is grounded and creates with Mother Earth, and all of those who are still thinking about he, she, it, they with God. It's like, okay, really? You think that pronouns are going to get God going? Like, wow, okay, sure, you know what? Keep talking. So the impossible made possible. Once you understand what's possible is everyone is only one of a kind. You are not from nothing. You are from a womb. And when you are clear as a slate, the clearest you can be, you still have the capacity to be rational. No, I'm an ego like you are. I have implicit memory in addition to explicit. That implicit memory is not with words. I can get triggered just like anybody else. I just don't need to suffer life, and therefore twin flames won't be sending anyone down a spiraling hellhole. It will be not rejection is protection. It's thanks God for keeping me away. Look, the smile of the goody two-shoes. Ah, I saved my image. Yay! Because someone says perfectionists want to keep their image safe. No, but I did the right thing. Yay, I didn't do the wrong thing. That's my 3-year-old. That's how it feels like, yay, I didn't treat someone like a little piece of shit. Hurrah, I did the one thing that everybody wants, to be treated like a human. Wow! Did you know that rejection actually is a stab in the heart, like the part of the brain that lights up? Like if you're physically stabbed. So an emotionally, mentally mature person who hears someone say, yeah, and if you're physically stabbed, it hurts. There's a difference. I'm sorry. Don't compare the physical stab to the emotional stab, because I actually know the difference between mental and emotional. And it's not mental pain, it's actually only a heartbreak. And physical pain, because unfortunately I have had some things go down, luckily not a stab, but you better bet that I'll choose the emotional shit over the physical shit any day now. Sticks and stones can break my bones, but words will never harm me, and I will run the fuck away if you come near me towards. So that's why when I do understand that some people, they struggle with their emotional stuff, I know they don't have nervous system sovereignty. If they got that, then they would know their window of tolerance. Once you understand how your window of tolerance works, neurotypical, neuroatypical, you will know yourself. Now that you have the cosmic heart, because you have access to you and how your body works, this divine empowered feminine, now you can commit to what? Well, you commit to the sacred union of a mind that wields itself by the embodied brain that is being wielded by the human being who knows, oh look, I got activated, oh look, I got shit going down. So people who can do this are our 5D collective, who is, by the way, moving into 7D, not a special dimension, and just the way that I organize to the best of my ability, because 3D, 4D ain't going anywhere. From nothing to everything. We have a whole bunch of people who think we're evil, who think we're bad, whose epistemic trust was broken, and who, by the way, again, at a certain point in our human journey in the future, you're gonna, unless dark matter, dark energy implode, you're gonna have to say, can we take your kids off the planet? Do you mind? Humility, we respect. So it's easy for objective truth to be in the forefront of those who are of our 5D collective, because the impossible made possible aren't from the projecting, distorting, and spiritual bypassing community stories. Excuse me, the human gift is not to be one of suffering. We've talked about this many a times, and that's the part of why I don't have to bring the spiritual story. I can bring the embodied brain story, because it's not a story. Scientists, all the amazing, great mindful therapists, they're the reason why people can know their window of tolerance and how to move into window welcome. I'm what comes after, because really it's be yourself. It's always been be yourself. And so many people think self-help is not mental health. They think it's that's not mental health. Self-help is because you can help yourself. If you struggle with your mental and emotional faculties, that means you have yet to own the body and the embodied brain. And when you meet terrible twos, they're not terrible. They're just a bunch of people who give you their 5 hands, like my facade friend. And so people who don't access their cosmic heart, their commitment, and their sacred union don't know how to, till death do you part, sickness and in health, for better for worse, rich or poor. Sure, they can go and tell me with their, whether it's monoamory, polyamory, whatever it is, they can tell me that they know what sacred is. I'm going to spot if they know what sacred is. Then I'm going to also spot if they know what it means to actually be humble, as every human started the same way we did. So humility is not hard to have if you are a person who's empowered, enlightening, and understanding what the human gift is. And that is, one, have you ever noticed how people don't realize, you know how our ancestors thought that the sun revolved around the earth? Ego. So the part that is funny is when someone's talking about something as if it is special. Well, every day is special for a mindful person, because today might be my last day. And that's a gift. And in my case, I come thanks to my upbringing with God, but even the scientist, I know a beautiful lady, she talks about the cosmos in this most magnificent way, and she's like, ah, and you can tell that's what she's here to talk to us about. That's her expertise, and she's so appreciative of life. That's what it means to be aware. And so everyone who will be appreciative in a way of being able to handle, this is the part, I understand those who are not yet ready to handle, which is why the groups that are coming together, they are groups that come together because they will together suffer and talk about the injustices, and there's other soul age groups, so I leave it to them to continue doing their thing. I'm thinking here we don't have that. We have purpose-driven professionals, individuals who are doing the ventral pivot. So join us at Substack. I have plans for Substack to bring together a number of informative pieces on things that are going on with policymakers and the sciences and spiritual ones who come together, professionals. They have different types of summits and whatnot, and that's going to be fun to notice. And then obviously, as we also are here to live, grow, enlighten, we don't just act like it, we embody it. And in the streets we go and walk, and somatic empaths, we're all it. So when you have emotionally mature people, you know that love is actually what we're doing, compassion, and the right and wrong. We know how to treat everyone like a person, because that's what it is. It's called you be you and I be me. And when you are self-regulating, you don't actually have let me project, distort, and I don't do that personal thing. And so when it's chaos, rigidity, or distortion, it's okay, I got a 3-year-old in front of me, I'm going to allow myself to respect and hear. As for my subjective opinion, it's not important to share necessarily in general. So we know where we are at. Every time it's different, because also, by the way, all people will grow. Our bodies actively are moving into their wholeness all the time, the restored embodiment. And please don't, I don't use words like a dictionary. If you're new, you don't know that. So try to remind people about that one. What corrupts leaders and people and businesses is not a monster. It's that they're not a person who knows about integrity within and relational integrity without. And you can't teach that to a person who doesn't notice that they're dysregulating. They can learn relational integrity and their own integrity when they will learn first to notice when they're dysregulated. With self-awareness comes, I will fuck it up potentially again, but I will do it again. What? The ventral pivot. And I'll do it again. The ventral pivot. I'll do again the let me use my prefrontal. I'll do it again to I almost reacted and then I remind it. Okay, so we learn through practice what we preach, which is you be you and I be me. And the unconditional love is because we all have flaws and imperfections, but we all treat each other with kindness. We all have all those 6 basic human emotions. No one has to work for love because everyone deserves love and everyone's alive. And as for the important stuff, yes, we need air, water, and food. So we work with those purpose-driven professionals, and we look forward to entrepreneurship and all that other great stuff. And we're going to continue fixing the systems that need fixing, because that's how our species has always done it. So I look forward to being back. Check out PayHip for those guides. Check out PayHip for more. And Substack, and let others know too. Have a good one.